when you are trying to like make your SMP look the best, you have to be cognizant of lighting. It's even like when if you taking outside pictures, right? It's like, yo, you're paying again thousands for a hair procedure. So you want to be seen in the best light. So if you're taking pictures outside that does not show you in the best light, you're not going to be so like happy about those pictures because you're like, yo, I'm doing this for to be shown in the best light. But at the same time, you got to understand, like what makes you you is who you are internally. First off, that's what you have to be okay with. But as far as how you portray yourself and
Like YOLO wanted to tell you, accept yourself. You don't have to prove shit to no one, accept yourself. And if you
but I want to first talk to you guys about the dark side of a scalp micropigmentation procedure, or it's called SMP. That's what I have on my head right here, right? SMP. So I mentioned I was about to cut my hair, and I'm gonna get to right to it, man. The first dark side of an SMP is having to cut your hair every 1 or 2 days. I was like slightly annoyed because I've been growing my hair. Well, I grew my hair out. Last time I cut my hair was on Thursday of last week. Today's Wednesday. It was like Friday or Thursday of last week, right? Today's Wednesday. So that said, it's been about 5 days for my hair to grow out, and I'm gonna show you how it look real quick. So you see, you can kind of tell. See, well, I ain't gonna say kind of. Just focus in. All right, you can see how it's looking. This is over the course of like 4 or 5 days. Um, Having to cut your hair every 1 or 2 days is the first dark side. Like the thing, this when you have an SMP, right? They tell you cut your hair, cut your hair. But I don't think you understand, like, for something that's a low maintenance look, it takes a lot of like maintenance and consistency to actually keep it looking quote unquote, to keep it low maintenance. To keep it low maintenance takes a lot of maintenance. So it's like this is something that's you don't gotta cut your hair, it's always you gotta line up, but it's really a lot of work to keep it looking fresh. Like cutting your hair every 1 or 2 days, it's not just the cutting your hair aspect of it. And I've had SMP for like the last what um 3 years almost. So it's not just cutting your hair. It's the fact that what cutting your hair does to your head. So somebody like me, I got sensitive skin, right? So like, and particularly the back of my head. Now, thankfully, what I noticed when I realized, like, anytime I try to get like a shave or something that goes straight to the scalp, then I'm in a position where basically it's like I get a whole bunch of bumps, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that for many reasons. For one, it ain't like the hamburger meat type stuff. I know that sounds disgusting, but it is disgusting. So like having like the little small bumps on the back of your head, nah, that's not me. So I don't shave my head. Like I don't do a shave. I do like a regular. I just cut it with clippers. And if you like to know how I cut my SMP or whatever, I did a video on it. It'll come up somewhere over there or at the end of the video. But that said, man, me having to cut my hair every 1 or 2 days is taking a toll on my head. So sometimes I'll just like grow my hair out for like a week so I don't have to cut the back of my hair or I'll cut the sides of my hair. So like right now, like I wanted to come on here so you guys can see, which is crazy because you really can't even tell like that, especially when I'm looking like straight. Like if I was like this, then you can really tell. But if I'm like, straight ahead, you really can't tell. And even like this, you really can't tell too much. And that brings me to my second point, yo. Um, under certain lighting, like under certain lighting, like I got the lights back there and I got a light right here. I'm gonna show you the light I got right here. But under certain lighting, your SMP, the illusion is gone. You look just bald. Like you just look bald under certain lighting. If the light is too harsh, if it's fluorescent lights, if it's like the sunlight is hitting too hard, if it's too harsh the sunlight, like the UV rays is up too high, if you out at noon or something like that, you just look bald. If it's fluorescent light, coming down, you just look bald. So the whole idea of getting a SMP, like I said, you want to look fresh, you want to have a fresh lineup. It makes people like people don't come to me like, "Are you got an SMP?" Like, nah. Most people I meet, they're like, "I just thought you wanted a bald fade. Like, I thought you had like a lineup for the bald fade." Like, that's what most people think. That said, though, under certain light, and I like the idea, ball fade, whatever, because the ball fade mean you got a lineup versus like having a full body. I don't want to have a full body. I didn't pay to have a body. I paid to have an SMP. I paid to look like I got hair, right? So, yo, that being said, though, under certain lighting, it's done. So that's something you're always kind of conscious about. I did like a deeper dive on this specific subject, but I'm just kind of glossing over it right here. Under certain lighting, when you got SMP, it looks like you're bald, your head is just shining. and it makes the SMP pigmentation go out if it's like harsh lighting. That said, you got to control your environments. You may want to wear a hat at certain times of the day. Or you may not, you may not care. Like sometimes if I'm just going on the jog and it's midday, usually I wear a hat because the sun be beaming where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I'm here in Florida. But when it comes to like if I'm out nighttime, or if I'm out like if I'm going to the gym or something, I really don't care. Like if I'm going to the gym, I'm myself internally, which I'm thankful for. Like I'm always myself, no matter when I first did my SMP to now. Like I'm always myself. I'm just becoming more of myself, I guess you can say. But that said, when it comes to you going to the gym, yeah, you like the harsh gym lighting, because there's certain areas in the gym, right? Like certain area, if you're like in the main part of the gym, they have the harsh, damn near fluorescent lighting. Some of it's not fluorescent. Some of them you go over, they have like your regular light bulbs. So I look at myself in the mirror and I look different, like completely different person. Not completely different person, you know what I'm saying? Look the same. The face hair doesn't change. But you look way different when you got the harsh overhead lighting versus the regular lighting, right? So it's something that if you're not, just to be like completely honest with you, if you're not internally confident with who you are and who you are as a person, you're going to be conscious of how you look based on lighting, and the lighting can determine your confidence in a way. And I'm not saying this like to shoot down on you or nothing like that, because it's happened to me. Like I said, I look completely different sometimes in harsh lighting. So if I'm meeting somebody in harsh lighting versus regular lighting, they're meeting two different D'Angelos, bro. It's like two different people. But the only thing that stays the same is who I am internally, which I'm thankful for. But that said, it's something that if you're spending thousands of dollars on a hair or cosmetic procedure, you do that so you can look a certain way. But just understand that in certain lighting, you're not going to look for what you pay for. So that is a dark side of SMP. It's something people don't talk about, but I think it really needs to be talked about, and something that you really should take into consideration before you get an SMP to really understand that. All right. So like I said, I'm just glossing over it. Most of this stuff I did deep dives on, but today I just was like, bro, I'm about to cut my hair, but I was like, I don't feel like cutting my hair. Let me tell them about what it really like, what it really be like. But like, I really could just not, like, for me, I could go out and not cut my hair, and it's like people probably like look at me crazy or whatever. I don't really be tripping like that because, like I said, I'm internally confident. That said, I do not go somewhere where people know me and I don't cut my hair. Like if I go to my main gym, I got the gym where I can go to any of the gyms, right? But like if I go to my main gym and I didn't cut my hair, I'd wear a hat. Like I wouldn't be trying to what's call it. Or if I'm out during the sun beaming, if I know I'm about to be outside, I gotta wear a hat. Even if you bald, you're gonna wear a hat. But the thing is, I didn't pay to look bald. So it's like I want to wear a hat because the sun, and I don't want to look bald. So it's like two different reasons, right? All right. So that kind of brings me to my next point though. Number three, as far as the dark side of having an SMP, bro, there's pressure to always look clean and fresh, bro. Like you always want to look fresh and clean because it's what you paid to look like, right? But that being said, it's like when you have a quote unquote off day with SMP, it's hella noticeable. It's not like when you got hair and you let your hair grow out too long, like you know what I'm saying. You like I need to get myself lined up because I'm looking wild like that. It's kind of like you got the SMP, so it's like if you go and like how I'm looking right now, like if I walk past somebody and they see me at what I'm saying, anything other than face on, they go like, yo, what the hell's going on with this? Yo, I've had that happen plenty of times, right? Like when I'm looking like, what I'm saying, I got stuff cut. I look like just a guy with I'm saying low fade, whatever. But if I'm out and I didn't cut my hair, something like that, sometimes I walk outside, walk my dog with my neighbors, and I don't feel like cutting my hair or something. A neighbor like look at me and they didn't see me before, but like if I didn't cut my hair, they look at me twice, and I'm like, yeah, nigga, still me, what up? Like, hey, what's up, Trey? Still me. But that said, you do this in environments that you feel comfortable with because there's the pressure to upkeep it and to always look fresh and clean. Especially like with me coming on YouTube, right? Anytime I do a YouTube video, I cut my hair. And if I didn't, I may not do it right before if I did it the day before, but if I'm coming, I haven't cut my hair like yesterday, and I'll cut it like today because I'm hopping on a YouTube video. So it's like there's always this kind of pressure to like look how SMP is supposed to look. You want to look clean, you want to look fresh, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is you're doing a lot of things for, like I said, something that's ironically low maintenance. You're really paying attention to it way more than you think you would have to. And when I say more than you would have to, it's only because like when you cutting your hair, you want to make sure all the little thing look fresh and clean because that's what it looks like when you got a SMP. So like it's like, again, it's a dark side of SMP, but for some of you guys that's probably watching this, maybe you're bald and you don't want to be bald, so you're like, bro, I don't care about that. Like I want to look fresh and clean. But it's something like 3 years ago, if I would have watched this video, I probably wouldn't have understood it when I first got it, right? I think I would have understood the lighting thing. And matter of fact, back to the lighting thing. Let me show you this. This is the light I got, right? So this is my like overhead, you know what I'm saying, what they call honeycomb light or whatever. All right. You can see it. All right. So think about that light. There's a honeycomb on it, and that's what's like basically make sure that the light isn't just too harsh that's hitting my head, right? So it's why, like, how you can see like the light a little bit right there, and also it's turned down a lot. But if I had that honeycomb off, it'll just be just like killing my head. Like it flushes out the SMP. I would have to turn the light down so low that it's like, what's the point of even having the light? So the honeycomb helps it. But that's what I mean, bro. These lights, like you really gotta take some time to do your lighting work. Like even me having the backlights, and sometimes I do the red light, it just adds to the illusion of the SMP. Now it also adds to the vibe, which is mainly why I do it. But also sometimes it adds to the illusion of an SMP where I'm like, y'all look really good. And the light, right? So I have to make sure this is turned down a certain notch. I have to make sure, that light is set up a certain way. That's why I didn't turn on that light, so you guys can get the full, as much as possible, the full experience that I'm talking about. Like, if I really get close up, you really can kind of see it. But like, anyway, that's why I didn't turn on the red light or the purple light. No, that's my light. Like, it's a mood starter. It's a really gets a vibe going. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you are trying to like make your SMP look the best, you have to be cognizant of lighting. It's even like if you taking outside pictures, right? It's like, yo, you're paying again thousands for a hair procedure, so you want to be seen in the best light. So if you're taking pictures outside that does not show you in the best light, you're not going to be so like happy about those pictures, because you're like, yo, I'm doing this for to be shown in the best light. But at the same time, you got to understand, like, what makes you you is who you are internally. First off, that's what you have to be okay with. But as far as how you portray yourself and how you show yourself, life is a stage, right? So how you portray yourself on that stage, you have to shape that perspective a little bit and put the perception a little bit. And as part of you shaping that perception, it's like everybody wants to be seen in the best light, right? But literally, when you have an SMP, you want to be seen in the best light, right? So it's a difference, man. But that's something, like I said, that's one of the biggest things that I think I wouldn't really grasp that when I was getting SMP. And I remember looking at a video and this one dude was walking outside, like, man, look, he was on like bright day. And I saw stuff fade a little bit, but you don't know it until you see it on yourself. And you're like, yo, like, I wanted to have my SMP showing right there. Like, I wanted it to show right there. But it wasn't showing because of the lighting. So, bro, that's a real thing that you really got to think about, bro. So, like I said, that's really something you really got to think about. All right. So now I got two more for y'all, man. And I'm gonna be out of here. But I really I'm happy I made this video, because I feel like this will help somebody who's considering getting an SMP or maybe has one, and they're like, yo, you're not alone, my guy, you're not alone. So anyway, having a bad SMP, like, this is the dark side of SMP, bro. Having a bad SMP is worse than being bald. Like, hands down, bro. Worse than being bald, having a bad SMP. Now, some guys, they look great being bald. Like, no shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? If you feel good about yourself being bald, no shots to you, right? Shout out to you. But when it comes to guys who have a bad SMP procedure, a bad scalp micropigmentation, like, you might as well be bald, because that, bro, it looks crazy. Like, it looks like somebody drew it on with like a Sharpie, and they just drew it on. I'm gonna tell you a quick story, bro. So this when I go to the barbershop, 'cause I still go to the barbershop and get lineups, right? So I went to the barbershop not too long ago, and one of the guys, he was like, he asked me, like, bro, how long you have it on your head for? Like, this was like, I didn't get the haircut by this guy too many times, but he was like, no, I didn't notice it before, but like my hair was kind of grown in like this. Like I said, I'm going to the barbershop, but even when I go to the barbershop, I usually don't like let them touch the SMP. Like, it's not to say that like I have done it, but usually I don't, just because it's pointless, right? It's like, I'm about to pay you $40 for you to cut this off, nigga. No, like, I'm paying 20 for this and 20 for that and plus a $5 tip. No, bro, that don't make sense. So that said, I rarely ever do it. So anyway, I'm in it like this. I'm in there, you know what I'm saying, getting my hair cut or whatever. Bruh's talking. He's a funny dude. So he's like, man, that looks really good. Like, who did it? So I tell him who did my SMP. He's like, man, that looks really natural. Like, I really couldn't tell. He's like, I wouldn't even be able to see it on this. I didn't even know the first time, but I see it now. It's like, damn, that looks really good. He's like, it's crazy, man. I had somebody come into my barbershop not too long ago. They came in here, and the guy was feeling good too. He was feeling good. and he was like feeling all good. He was like, I looked at him, I was like, yo, what the hell is that on your head? I was so weak because bruh's feeling good. And he said he just looked at him and he pointed like, yo, what the hell is that on your head? He's, oh yeah, man, it's a scalp micropigmentation procedure. Like I did it, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm happy I came out. And then the guy was like, no, it don't look right, bro. You need to get your money back. I'm like, yo, that's so messed up. Imagine going into the barbershop, you feeling good about yourself, you know what I'm saying? Think you about to get a fresh little lineup in the barber talking about what is that on your head, bro. That is something different right there. So yeah, my point exactly is having a bad SMP makes you will feel like, yo, I might as well be bald. Like, let me just go back to being bald. So really be cautious of who you get your scalp micropigmentation procedures done by. Like, I'm not saying it's rocket science to do it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go to the most expensive person, but go to somebody where you can see they have proven results, preferably, right? You want to make sure that they actually did what they were supposed to do on other people's heads that have the same complexion as you. Don't sleep on that, right? If you go to a guy who only does black people, it might come out a little different on a white guy, right? And vice versa, if black and white and Hispanic and whoever else, Indian, whatever your nationality is, make sure that the person has done it with somebody with your skin complexion more than your nationality, with your skin complexion. You feel me? All right, man. So, like I said, bad SMP, you go miss being bald. All right, last but not least, I'm gonna get you out of here, man. When it comes to having a SMP, the dark side of it, there's never a change of your style. Well, I remember having hair. When I had hair, bro, I went through so many different hairstyles. Like at first I was going like low fade. I used to get what they call the even Steven, something like that. And then I used to get like taper on the side, taper the back, like all even up in there sometimes. So or full even Steven, no taper. Or I do like a once Drake came out and then nigga had the curly hair. And then I would start rocking the curls from back when I was super young, like 4 or 5. I used to have curls. But then when I got in my teen years, I started rocking the curls again. I feel like everybody started rocking the curls again. I'm just gonna say it was because of Drake. I know hella niggas did it, but I mean, for me, it was like, that was what was in right there, right? So I was rocking the curls, really loving it. Then I would let my hair grow out fully, like just let my hair grow, talking like not a 80s afro or like a 70s afro, nothing like that, but like I'm talking about letting it grow and it's like just super curly. And then I went to having like once the Drake stuff got, I'm saying, played out, basically I turned like 15, 16, 17, 18 up in there. I just went to like shaving the sides and then basically keeping the top higher. So it wasn't a mohawk, but it was like, I'm saying, shave the sides, keep the sides a little lower and the top a little bit higher. So I wouldn't call it a mohawk, but it was on a like something like a mohawk, right? The point is, I just gave you guys like 6 different hairstyles, right? I felt like a different person every time I had a different hairstyle. Like how women be feeling like when they got wigs, right? When women got wigs, they be like different girl, different wig. I felt like that when I had different hairstyles. I was able to change up who I am, right? I was able to embrace more sides of my personality. Now I got this. But the thing is, I really appreciate my SMP because if I did not have an SMP, then I'd just be bald, and that's the same hairstyle, except it's just bald. So I mean, the thing is, bro, if you want to be bald, kudos to you, right? But here's the thing that I want you guys to recognize, and I'm gonna get back to this point. We're not finished about the wear your hairstyle, but I want to address the bald thing, right? Because when you have SMP, you technically are bald. Like it's not even really a technical about it. You are bald. You just have a hairline tattoo. But the thing is, like I said, the illusion. The illusion. It's an illusion, guys. It's an illusion. That's all it is, an illusion. The thing about the illusion is it takes certain practices and things to make it work or to make it play in your favor. So it's nothing against my bald brothers out there. If you want to stay bald, be bald, do your thing, bro. It really is. You're not missing that much. Like we're still bald, even with having an SMP. We're still bald. We're still part of the bald cafe community, right? We're still in there. The only thing is, it's like you have a bald fade because you just got like a lineup. And that line makes a difference because it adds shape to your face. If I did not have this line, I mean, I got a good looking face, right? I think we all can agree there. But what I'm saying is, if I didn't have this line, my shit, like, bro, my shit be back there, and like I feel like my face will run into my head. Like, I don't know if you know what that means, like, but like I think you probably understand what I mean if you understand what I mean, right? If I didn't have this line here, my face, it probably just run back into my head. Like there's no stopping. You know what I'm saying? There's just like every just thing is just right there, which makes it hard to focus, right? Because in my face, my eyebrows and my eyes are like the focal point of my face because I have the hairline, right? If I did not line my eyes and my eyebrows, it takes away less there's less focus on my eyes and my eyebrows because it's just all that up there. So I think you get what I'm saying, bro. So what I'm saying is if you want to be bald, be bald. But I do believe that having some kind of shape to your face maximizes your looks no matter who you are. That said, if you're somebody in between, you're bald right now and you're thinking about getting a hair transplant, but you're not ready to, get a quality hair transplant and really invest into it because we understand you guys know the channel, right? What we talk about. We understand what can possibly happen if you get a bad hair transplant. It's like you might as well just stay bald and stay where you're at if you're about to get a bad hair transplant. Now, the middle ground to that is your SMP. And now you're about to tie it in right here, right? I didn't get off track. My tied in. What I'm saying is this middle ground of having an SMP, as I mentioned, it's an illusion that works best with light, certain lighting. The thing about the middle ground of SMP, it'll also amplify your results when you get a hair transplant because it gives that base where you see a lot of people when they have hair transplants, you see the thinness under, so that a lot of people use fibers and stuff like that. We're gonna get all into it, but a lot of people use um hair fibers in order to darken up their hair to make it look like they don't have any spots. Because when you get a hair transplant, as we talked about, I was quoted 2,500 just for this front spot, so it could be sparsed out. The 2,500 grafts from back there is going to be sparsed out all from the sides to connect that, and then all through about right there to back over there. So it's not going to be the most thick thing, is what I'm saying, right? So like how I described all those hairstyles I had before, it's not going to be the thickest thing. But having the SMP will make it look way thicker than what it actually is, to the point I may not even have to use the hair fibers to really bring out the best results, right? So that is something to consider, man. I just named all these bad things or dark sides of SMPs, right? But at the same time, if you're somebody who's bald and you're looking to get hair, an SMP may be a critical step that you may want to take before you get the hair transplant to ensure and maximize the results. You also can get it afterwards as well. But as far as getting back to the main point, there are plenty of things that happens when you get an SMP that when you first get it, you're probably more so happy to even have these quote unquote problems or these quote unquote things like that you have to go through. But when you are in the midst of it, bro, it really does get tiring. And it's things like this that makes you consider on even getting a hair transplant. Because it's almost like with anything that when you really want something and you get it finally, and when it feels like a finally, there's also going to be a side of it that you didn't expect or that you get that you wasn't really wanting. You feel me? So it's like, yeah, I wanted the SMP, but did I really want to cut my hair every 1 or 2 days? That I really want to have to worry about, the lighting and being certain lighting. That I really not want to that I really not want to switch up my hairstyle every time. It's all these different things that you understand even when you're going into it. But when you're going through it, it feels different. It feels like damn, damn, like it feels a little different, bro. And that's not from an ungrateful perspective because I'm grateful. It's just from a perspective of like basically getting used to stuff, right? Like as we all do something, we get used to something, and then what excited us before doesn't really excite us, and then we start finding things that we want to get more with some color. So I'm aware of that fact too, which is why I'm slow. And as I kind of talk to you guys, actually I haven't made that video yet, but I'm kind of slow on getting a hair transplant for that specific reason because I understand myself and I understand human nature, right? Once we become satisfied with something, then we either poke holes in it or we find something else that we want, right? So it's like before I go and do something with my hair, I want to make sure that for one, I'm going somewhere, there's quality results. For two, my hair loss is stabilized as far as the amount of hair that I'm losing, so I can preserve the grafts as long as possible. But for three, I want to make sure that it's something that I'm ready for the upkeep of it. Like I really want to make sure that I'm ready for everything that comes with it, even the stuff that I didn't plan on, and the stuff that I don't really want that much. Like another thing, taking meds. Like more than most likely to protect your investment, you're going to have to take medication when you are on or when you're on you first get that hair transplant. But that's something that I can see myself coming back to y'all and complaining about. Like, damn, like I'm tired of taking this medicine because you got to literally take medicine every day with a hair transplant, right? To really maximize your results, ideally. It's a lot to consider, bro. But like I said, just like anything, man, it's a lot to consider. So, when you ask for something, just be prepared for everything that comes with it, because a lot will come with it that you wanted the thing, but then these other things came with it, and you're like, I still happy I got the thing, but damn, I got to deal with this too. That's kind of what all this video was. Overall, I'm thankful for the SMP, to be real with you. Like, would I go back in time and not get the SMP? Like, no, I would still keep the SMP to keep it a buck with you. If I went back 3 years ago, I just thought about it. If I went back 3 years ago and I was faced with the same decision, knowing everything that I know now, I would still get the SMP, if you were wondering that. So just to clear that up, it's completely worth it in my opinion. But it doesn't mean that it's not annoying going through this stuff, bro. Like, I'm about to go cut my hair right now. Probably go film this other video. I'll probably go hit the gym or something like that, bro. But anyway, I just want to come on here and film that, man. Until next time, as always, y'all know what's going on, man. Get the stepping, get the stepping, get the stepping. Hey.
Like YOLO wanted to tell you, accept yourself. You don't have to prove shit to no one, accept yourself. And if you